there! Paul from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it after the show. Right now, let's just get into the show. We're in a coat today. First time this season, so that's exciting. We're getting into fall. Yesterday and the day before, we've been talking about nitrogen and how nitrogen has a different role in a nectar grow over other more synthetic type things. And why? Because it's more focused on calcium. So I thought today it might be nice to talk about calcium, because Scott had one of the people he's working with had a good question that kind of led to him generally talking about how calcium fits into your grow and how it fits with the other nutrients. So I think you're going to find it interesting. I'd like you to watch it, and I'll talk to you after. How much calcium do you need? How do you know if it's too much? What does it do to ppms? And if it raises ppms, what would that not give a high ppm ready and short you on other nutrients? Hard to know where between 2 tablespoons and 6 tablespoons of Herculean Harvest to use, and if it's throwing off my other readings. That's a good question.
It is, however, he's assuming that
yes, this is
bone meal is calcium. And it's so much more than calcium. There's calcium in bone, there's calcium in milk, there's calcium in limestone, there's calcium in rock, there's calcium in a lot of things we put in. Now, calcium, there's no such thing as too much calcium. There's too much calcium phosphate, there's too much calcium, nitrate, there's too much. So it depends on the form, but just calcium. Well, you're not going to overdo, like calcite calcium, you're not going to be able to overdo calcite.
You could pour it that thick on top.
It could be your drainage, it could be your perlite, literally, unless your water. So basically, most of these calcium forms that were like limestone and whatever, dolomite lime, or too much of that in a potting mix will make the pH too high. But really, if you're running any type of water in a neutral or acidic, that too high will completely reduce itself down rapidly and be not too much again very quickly.
Well, I think someone who made a lot of money from selling milk found that the word calcium worked. Yeah. But a calf does not need just calcium, it needs complete nutrition. And a mother's milk, cow's milk, has all kinds of stuff in it. Yep. And so I think that's kind of the misinterpretation of...
2 to 6 tablespoons of Herculean is calcium phosphate with a ton of phosphorus, which milk isn't loaded up with either. So it's really just part of that whole breakdown, how it's being digested, how it's being available. So on that, it's not throwing your numbers off that much as far as the calcium parts from milk.
Okay.
So now what's really going to throw your numbers off is when you're only hammering calcium phosphate from bone meal without all the other nutrition to balance the plants. So if you're at 6 tablespoons, you should be at, at least 10 to 15 mils of your base nutrients and you're pushing to that 6 with your Herc. You shouldn't be at 6 Herc and no Medusa and Gaia to keep your numbers right, if that makes sense.
It does. Okay, what do you think? Informative, entertaining, helpful? Did it bring up any questions, comments in your minds? Throw them in the comments. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. It's the OCGFAM show.